we're Christians, and part of the reason we're interviewing people and saying this is the Bible actually predicts that these times would come. You know, we're Christians, we're from a church, and we're also just wondering, is there anything that we could pray for you, just personally about? We're Christians, and that's part of why we're doing this, but yeah. Okay, yeah, amen. And the Bible actually predicts that these times would come. All right, there it is. Hey, how are you all doing today?
Good. Are you guys approved by management to be doing this?
Approved to?
To be videotaping on private property?
What would the law be that people can't videotape in a mall?
I mean, it's in our code of conduct. But yeah, you guys have to get approved by management in order to be interviewing people.
All right, well,
so we are going to have to ask you guys
if we're doing the law stuff, do you want to know where our property line ends?
Well, the question would be more, no, hold on, it's not the property line, it's what's the rule that people can't videotape. We're Christians, by the way, and we're just sharing our faith. My question is, I mean, there's people on their cell phones and they're filming all the time. I just don't understand why when...
We're not even asking you to move. It's more, are we?
Yeah, they want them gone. Because private property, they have like their own rules. Like, yes, it's private property open to the public, but private property does have their own rules and regulations. Like being on private property itself, you guys would have to leave.
We're not trying to cause trouble. My question, now I've gone in this mall a bunch. I've pulled out my cell phone. I filmed my kids. I filmed conversations.
Random people when they're trying to come in. Like, again, there's no problem with it, but have you just walked in the mall and just interviewed somebody?
Well, then if there's no problem with it, that's what I'm hearing, then I don't know why we're here.
Oh, this is going to be one of these. Okay.
Well, I don't understand one of what.
The question is, it comes down to the property line. I mean, again, we can only do so much. I mean, I guess if this is my boss,
yeah,
if she's asking you to move, and again, I don't want to be like viral or some shit like that or whatever's going to happen now, we can just call the sheriff and then he can explain to you. And then that would be easier, and then we don't have to be put in a position.
I have not heard still about a law saying that people can't film. I've heard about property lines. I hear that your boss doesn't want you to do it. My question is...
That's your answer to your question.
We said private property open to the public.
When the boss of the property, who's in charge of the property, asks you to move off property lines, that's enough to just tell you to move. If not, the sheriff gets involved and then there's trespassing. It's just asking you nicely to move this way.
How am I trespassing? I mean,
okay. It's just if the owner of the property asks you to move and you don't, you can be trespassed for being on private property, and the owner is telling you, I need you to move. That's how trespassing works. It doesn't need to be this big, man.
So your boss just wants us not standing in front of the doors.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's stand off to the side over here. I think most of these interviews weren't in front of the doors.
I mean, we just saw that one. It was in front of the door, and that was the only one we saw.
Okay, so most of them were, I think we had one on this side, one right there. You saw one in front of the door.
It's just going to be a battle. So just call the sheriff so that we don't look fucking stupid or whatever's happening, and then they can have a cop call. Like, just explain it to you.
Yeah, go call the police. Call the police on Christians and ask. I would like to see the law that says that we shouldn't be speaking. So yeah, no, you're being told. You're being told by somebody, and I'll tell you why you're being told this. This is obviously someone that's not supporting the message, and I get that. But we have a freedom of religion in the United States. We have a freedom of speech. I pay my taxes just with every other mall goer here, and unless there's a law that says we can't film and can't speak in the mall.
There's a difference between this little camera and like a professional, that's a dope camera, professional camera. There's two differences. You could be just doing this and people wouldn't even notice and they wouldn't even care. But when you're like what, streaming it or recording it for what? Again, that's not my problem, that's none of my business. But you see the difference in how these would be perceived, right?
Well, it's an interesting theory. I would like to see on paper where this mall or this store says that Adobe cameras can't be used, only cell phones. That's it. That's all I'm saying. You're out here, you're going to call the police. I don't know why.
Because I can sit here and argue or whatever you want to call this.
Well, it doesn't make sense.
It's just, you have to understand, you're taking, I'm not saying you're going to take your frustrations out or whatever this is right now on us because you can't see our boss.
I'm not frustrated. You guys came up to me. I didn't come up to you.
Hey, what's up, man? Huh?
Deputy Peach from the Sheriff's Office.
Hey, okay.
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on, man?
Order with the Sheriff's Office.
I know exactly who you are.
You
know exactly who me? Yeah, I know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
You might.
Really?
How you doing, guys?
Pretty good.
Good to see you. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? It is. It is. So, look, the owner, so the security guards here, they're agents of the property, okay? You guys are technically on the property of
The mall.
The mall.
Right.
So they don't want you guys trespass. They just want, if you guys want, apparently they own to the Tesla charging center over there. If they show us property lines, man. And
It's not like it's a Barnes and Noble issue. It's
it's
whole
the
mall
whole,
issue.
whole mall issue.
So security.
What is? I was trying to ask before. What is the issue?
They just don't want you guys. They consider you guys are harassing people. All right, by interviewing them, doing whatever you guys are doing.
But
Right.
at the end of the day, here's the it's private property that's open to the public. Okay, so as agents of the property, they can ask whoever they want off the property, even whether you're a paying customer or not. Okay, so they want you guys they don't want you guys trespass right now. Okay, so they're just politely asking you guys, hey, can you just get off the property? Or I would even think that they'd probably be more cool with it if you guys weren't just doing it right at the entrance of Barnes and Noble, but just as the mall as a whole. It's not just a Barnes and Noble issue. It's the
It's not
it's
like
the
you
whole
could go
FSK.
over
It's the whole FSK mall as
Dick's
a whole.
Sporting Goods and started
So
either.
So just to understand, the issue is considered harassment. What we're doing
right now it's they're thinking about trespassing you guys from this.
People, this is again a public place, right? People are freely in and out of this place, right? However, this is also, in a sense, private property, right? So if the corporation is asking their security, whoever owns the mall, to come out here and deal with you guys, all right, and they don't want you here, it's the security's job to get you off the property. All right, if you guys are refusing to get off the property, that's where the trespass comes in. All right, so at this point, they don't want you trespass. They just want you to voluntarily remove yourselves from the property. And again, it goes to the Tesla charging station. Okay.
What about what we're doing is harassment? I'm just trying to understand.
It's all how people interpret it. If they don't want to be bothered, they're being harassed. I'm not saying you guys are necessarily harassing anyone. I'm just saying.
Yeah, does somebody feel bothered?
I don't know. Obviously, they called us for some reason, right? And they don't want you here. I don't know if they feel like you're harassing people. I don't know. I can't answer that question. All right. I don't know if other people are in the store that reported it to them. Hey, I was bothered by this. I didn't like this. I don't know. I would never know that answer. Unless somebody physically came out and be like, I don't like what these guys are doing. All right. I don't know who reported it to them. They reported it to us. We showed up. All right. So again, it's just whether you guys want to comply or not. All right. Again, we're asking you kindly to just move on the other side of those charging stations. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Whom did this order come from? I imagine you want us removed from the property, but the only person who can ask somebody to be removed or even trespass would be the owner of a property.
Okay.
Like the other deputy was saying, right?
Okay.
They're contractors of this property, right? They're a security company.
Oh, that's security company.
Correct.
Okay.
So if they asked you to leave and you're refusing to leave, then they
Okay.
call us to then trespass you.
Okay.
Again, we talk to them at this time. They don't want you trespassed.
Okay.
They just want you to voluntarily leave.
We agree that they're not owners, but you're saying that notwithstanding this security company right here has the authority to trespass us or tell us to leave if they feel that we are doing something out of line on this property that technically they don't own. But so they do have that authority, and you guys will enforce what you interpret as their authority. Okay.
It'd be no different than if Barnes and Noble, right, a store within the property. We do it all the time. If people steal from Barnes and Noble or Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever, right?
You're right.
I'm not saying you guys are doing any of that, right?
Right.
However, if that specific store wants you trespassed, that doesn't mean you're trespassed from the whole mall. Okay? That only means you're trespassed from that store. You can't go to that specific store. Okay. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. But they represent the whole mall.
They represent the whole mall.
Okay.
And if the mall is telling them or whoever, the manager, whoever is, and I don't know that for sure. Okay, I don't know if that's who got their attention. I don't know if it's somebody that walked in here and got their attention. I don't know.
All right, fellas.
Got you. Oh, you got the map now. We're getting technical.
Yep. So we're
Appreciate it.
We're right here, Barnes and Noble. They even
Okay.
arrow right there. So all these are parking lots, and highlighted in green. So these are all these parking lots are technically part of mall property. Okay. To include the actual mall itself. So them being agents of the property, they would like you guys to leave. Okay.
Okay.
So you guys aren't being formally trespassed on our half.
You're just asking us to leave.
Just asking you guys to leave.
All right. That is the request at this point.
So
to leave.
I listened very carefully.
Okay.
So just to be sure.
Weren't you at the church over there the other week?
I don't think so.
It wasn't you?
So I
could've
was.
swore it was.
So I was
Down here at
listening.
Carnival, Jimmy
So
Carnival,
so correct me if I'm wrong. Let's say I go into Barnes and Noble, and I'm just telling people, hey, you look really nice today. I go to the next person, you look really nice. They didn't complain or anything, but the mall owner says, you know what, I don't like that. This guy's too nice. Kick him out.
Them being the owner of the property, them being an agent of the property, and security guards act as agents of the property. You can be like, hey, you're the nicest guy in the world, and they're like, I want you trespassed.
One more. I'm a black man. The owner's white.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
You know what? I'm racist. I don't want this guy in my store. Kick him out. That's okay?
I'll be honest with you. I would say it's not if they're racist or not, but literally under any circumstance, whoever the owner is, whatever their morals are, whatever flaws that they have.
If they're racist, it's okay. I'm just trying to be clear.
It doesn't matter if they're racist. It doesn't matter if they're white, black, purple, yellow, whatever.
The owner doesn't want him. They're out.
If the owner doesn't want them there,
an agent of the property wants you guys to leave the property.
And I even tried to work with you guys.
That's the bottom
Just like
line.
over there.
That's the bottom line.
Okay. All right. Now, how far?
Right here. So there's past. So they told us past those Tesla charging stations is the end of their property. So there's a side. I think there's a sidewalk on this side of the street. If not, on the other side of the street. If you guys want to stand there, you guys are all good. But
It's just like I tried to, vouch for you and just say move over here, away from the entrance, and you guys wouldn't have had to leave. I just asked you to do me one favor and just move over there, and then there would be no problems. But you were like, this and that, and I respect it. But we tried to work with you.
You said either side, and we were on that side. So.
do you guys got any questions
That's
for
okay.
us
Yeah,
right
you're
now
on
about
film.
anything? You got any questions? for
No,
us?
that's all
Anything?
right. So past the
Past the Tesla's charging
we're okay.
stations, that's
Response for 1060 PD 355.
that's where they're.
Report road area
So their
five.
property, there's the parking lots. The parking lots are included in the mall property. Okay.
All right.
And like I said, they're an agent of the property. Agent or owner of the property, they can trespass you. I can show you a trespass
No matter
form.
the motive.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm sure you're very familiar with those. So,
I've never actually got one, but I'm sort of familiar with the process.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep. All right. You guys got any questions? Other questions?
Nope, that's it.
All right.
We'll,
No questions,
We'll
just
go
co-
ahead and move that way.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
We'll head right off the
Thanks for your
property.
cooperation.
All right.
Tell Chuck I said hi. All right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the owner's motive is. They could be racist. They could just not like the way the person looks. They could not like their shirt, whatever it is, and they can kick them out of their store no matter what the motive is, no matter how impure, no matter how unholy, no matter how hateful. The law says that an owner, apparently, we'll look this up for sure, apparently the owner can kick you out of a mall for the most immoral reason. Heaven forbid we tell anybody about Jesus and they kick us out.
Heaven forbid that people hear about love and freedom and joy and true peace. Heaven forbid that people get a solution to their sin. But the owner of this mall decides that that's not acceptable. And so we've been pushed to the outskirts of this territory.